This prison had a strange rule. All prisoners were strictly forbidden from wearing shoes. But all the jailers wore thick, high-temperature, electric-proof shoes. And what's even stranger is that they didn't have any weapons. When the prisoners started wondering why, the person in front of them took out a remote from his waist, pressed a button lightly, and in the very next moment, a powerful electric current surged through the ground. This current wasn't deadly, but it caused unbearable pain to a person. That's why only 50 guards were able to control this prison with nearly 5,000 inmates. And this was just the lowest level. As soon as the captain finished his speech, the new prisoners were immediately made to wear special prison uniforms. From above, this place looked like a prison. In reality, it was a massive factory. Many people were thrown in here on false charges. Here, they were subjected to 10 hours of brutal labor. Each workshop had a supervising officer who oversaw all matters there. The guards only came when a new prisoner was brought in. The rest of the time, they were never seen in the workshop, but they weren't even afraid of the prisoners escaping. Because if anyone tried to escape, they would simply activate the electric mode on the ground. In the blink of an eye, everyone would be brought under control. To increase production, the prison held a weekly ranking evaluation of the workshops. Whoever secured first place would receive a reward. The rest had to endure the punishment of electric shocks. That's why the prisoners worked with all their might every second, not wasting even a moment. The supervisor told the new guy to learn quickly. You have to understand the entire workshop process within an hour. After the day's work was over, everyone was sent back to their rooms. The room was even smaller than 3 square meters. It was just like a sleeping capsule, with all the necessary things fitted into the walls. Food was sent through a pipe 3 times a day. You could eat as much as you wanted, but the taste was so bland, you could barely call it food. Only those could eat delicious food with difficulty, whoever came first in the workshop. Each prisoner's sentence was displayed on a screen, which decreased every day. Seeing this kept the prisoner's will to live alive. But last month, suddenly, there was a resentencing. Every prisoner's sentence was doubled. Everyone was discussing this. When the discussion turned to why this was done, the supervisor forcibly stopped it, because if a guard heard, the 3rd degree would be very bad. Just then, an announcement was made in the cell. Lights off! Everyone had to be in bed within 30 seconds at bedtime. If the white light turned red, it would electrocute you to death instantly. That's why there weren't even doors here. No one dared to try to escape. In the morning, the white light would come on. As soon as it turned on, all the prisoners would head to the workshop. This prison was built across a total of 7 levels. There were several other such prisons above the sea as well. Each level was completely different. If prisoners wanted to talk to someone on another level, they had to use sign language. The newcomer couldn't understand what they were saying. The man couldn't figure out what they were saying. So he was forced to keep working continuously. Gradually, he also learned the production process. The supervisor kept putting pressure on everyone. This time, we can take first place. There was just 1 day left for the evaluation when suddenly, something unexpected happened. One prisoner, fed up with his life of oppression, committed suicide. No one was affected by his death. Everyone was just worried that now there was one less person. This would slow down production. It would be difficult to get first place, which meant punishment by electric shock because of the table. Now table 3 had dropped to 4th place, so everyone started working like crazy again. But that new prisoner did not stay quiet. From the very beginning, he started looking for a way to escape. Every time he went to the toilet, he tried to cut the pipe with a saw. Shortly after, an announcement was made. Those are the new prisoners. He immediately fixed everything and returned to the workshop. The guards brought in the new prisoners and showed him a big mistake. He noticed that when the guards come from the platform, they aren't wearing electric-proof shoes. Yet the current doesn't affect them. That means the platform isn't even connected to electricity. That's when he understood the plan. Finish off the guard right on the platform, take down 2 more, and grab their weapons. But the timing wasn't right. He would have to get everyone together and escape at once. With the arrival of new prisoners, the work speed increased. Finally, together they managed to secure first place. That day, they were spared from the electric punishment. But just then, one prisoner used sign language to share some news. Something big had happened on the 2nd level. The new guy was about to ask when suddenly their room became very hot. The oxygen levels started to drop. Breathing became difficult on the 2nd floor, and then suddenly the lights went out. A few seconds later, they came back on. The supervisor immediately stopped the discussion. He was afraid that if the guards got angry, everyone here would be killed too. Soon, everyone was sent back to their cells again. After several days of observation, the new man noticed something. The supervisor wasn't actually a bad person. He immediately took advantage of the moment and asked loudly, "Have you ever thought about escaping?" How many guards patrolled on each level? Constantly. The supervisor got scared by the questions. He felt that hidden cameras in the dormitory might be listening to him. He started thinking, maybe I won't survive until tomorrow. Endo found this amusing. He said, the gods don't care about what we say. In their eyes, we're not even human, not even animals. Their only job is to give us electric shocks twice a day, to turn the power on and off and check production. The supervisor was a bit shaken, but even then, he decided it was better to quietly serve his sentence. The next morning, news arrived. All the prisoners on the 2nd floor had been killed by electric shock. A total of 100 people, the supervisor wanted to know. When asked where the news came from, the answer was that the maintenance team had come and they had seen everything with their own eyes. The loudspeaker ordered, "Prisoners, stand in the position according to the rules. No talking." Some people said, "The ones on the second floor have been set free." At this, the supervisor burst out in anger. Just then, the guards stopped him. Everyone was now trapped in danger. The mayor accepted the advice, but still stubbornly told everyone that this was just a rumor, not the truth. But doubt had already crept into his mind. Another day of duty began again. Ka's old body could no longer keep up. As soon as he stood in the assigned position, he almost fainted. People helped him, but he couldn't recover throughout the entire shift. The mayor became very worried seeing this. Once, Ole had helped him a lot. So he immediately ordered a doctor to be called and encouraged Olaf to just hold on a little longer. Now there are only 40 shifts left and then he will be released. The guard brought the doctor to save money. Here, even the doctor was just another prisoner. The mayor and the doctor were old friends. Finally, they reached the dormitory, hoping he could do something. Olaf had already served 14 years of his sentence. Now only 40 shifts remained before he would be free. But now it was too late. He had suffered a major stroke and even the doctor couldn't save him. The mayor was deeply saddened to see someone he considered a mentor in that state. He took out an injection that would allow him to pass away peacefully, because the fruit carrier was already on the way. The doctor didn't think the old man's death was tragic, at least he found peace. He said that after a week, the others would be praying for the same kind of death. Ander didn't understand this and asked the doctor what exactly had happened on the second level. The doctor warned him not to ask questions that shouldn't be asked. After receiving the injection, Olaf ended his life right there in the prison. The mayor could no longer remain silent. He too asked what had really happened on the second level. The doctor told the fruit carrier to hurry up and also instructed the guard sent outside. Actually, such a mistake happened in the prison. A man who had been released from the fourth level was sent to work on the second level the very next day. When this news spread, the guards killed all the prisoners on the entire second level with electricity. The meaning was clear. In reality, there was no release at all. Those who were supposedly released were just sent to another prison until they died working on some factory line. The fruit carrier had reached the door. The conversation had to end there. On the way back, Door asked again, "How many guards are there?" The mayor told the truth. Fewer than 5, which meant that even he harbored a spark of rebellion. He suggested that action must be taken tomorrow itself. At that time, new guards would be brought in to replace Olaf. The mayor called him crazy, but this was the only chance. The guard had killed 100 people, thinking that the news would be suppressed, but news can't be hidden. When 5,000 prisoners find out that they will never be released, the guards will truly fear a real rebellion. Then the Empire will send even more soldiers. Back in the dormitory, everyone asked about the cause of Olaf's death. The mayor's mental defenses broke down. Under pressure from the people, he spilled the truth. He shouted that no one will get out of here alive. The rumor about the deaths of people on the second level was true. Those who are released either die here or in the next prison. Next day, time for shift change in prison. After much thought, the mayor decided. Now, to survive, rebellion is the only way. Everyone acted as if it was a normal day. The guards were bringing in new prisoners. According to the plan, everyone agreed. No matter what happens today, we have to get out. They pulled out iron rods to block the way. They made preparations. They went to the room, cut the pipes, and then returned ready. As soon as the guards brought in the new prisoners, everyone was ready. Someone jumped onto the platform and jammed the lift. The new prisoner picked up the electric stick and knocked down the guard. However, the guard above shot him immediately. The rest of the prisoners threw weapons made from utensils together. Just 2 guards couldn't stop such a big crowd. Water had already spread across the floor. The guards turned on the electricity. The mayor warned everyone, "Jump onto the conveyor belt slowly." Those who kept walking died. Some got scorched, but the electricity was cut off due to a short circuit. The mayor survived. Now, without electricity, the guards were helpless. Everyone attacked together. Andor knocked down a guard and snatched his weapon. Both guards were killed. Everyone climbed onto the platform. Few guards were there. They couldn't stop them. Water flowed from the bathroom. It reached the lower level. The rest had no idea what was happening. The prisoners divided up the guards' belongings. They got weapons. They sent a message to the other levels as well. Truth is, only if you fight together, will you be free. The prison's control room was also taken over. The hydropower station was shut down. Now it will take months to restore electricity. The guards surrendered. The remaining prisoners ran out of their cells towards the exit. The guards who were left hid in the corners. They started waiting for help from the Empire. But the prison was built in the middle of a lake. Getting straight out was possible. Some people had already jumped into the water. The mayor couldn't swim. Ander was pulled under. He didn't hear properly. This escape was extremely brutal. Some had to die. But Ander and one companion succeeded. They escaped at night. The next day, Empire soldiers arrived. Ander hid among the rocks and managed to escape. Fortunately, the soldiers were lazy. They didn't search thoroughly. This planet was filled with water. Wanderers who fished often came here. Ander and his companion saw a ship standing far away. There was one way to escape, to seize that ship. They took advantage of the opportunity and ran for it. The 2 wanderers stood there, stunned. They caught both of them and trapped them in a net. They wanted to hand them over to the Empire and claim the reward. Although they hated the Empire, because the Empire had polluted the water, still, they thought that with the reward, their fishing, that would cover the expenses. In the course of conversation, they realized that the losses were much greater because of the Empire. Then they cursed the Empire and decided they didn't want the reward. They opened the net. With their help, Andor and his companions boarded that old ship. The ship took off, wobbling. Andor felt that this plan had failed. Perhaps the other prisoners didn't survive, so they decided to go their separate ways so that they could tell the whole galaxy the truth about the prison planet.